I always knew I had an instinct.
Yeah, remember this awesome trailer from just 1 year ago? A little over 1 year ago? Remember this gameplay reveal for the upcoming Perfect Dark Reboot? Yeah, well, it's now upcoming no longer. Why? Because it has been canceled. It has been shut down. The game is no longer in development. And not only did Microsoft cancel the Perfect Dark reboot, but they also shut down the studio that was making it in the same style as what you would expect from a company like Electronic Arts. The developer, The Initiative, which was formed back in 2018, has been shut down. Every employee there has lost their job. And this isn't the only company that's been affected. Microsoft has had mass layoffs across the entire company in every major department, including its gaming division. And so let's get into what actually happened here. Xbox Game Studios' new Perfect Dark game. This was the first project that was up and coming from their internal studio, which has now been shuttered, The Initiative. The head of Xbox Game Studios, Matt Booty, has confirmed the game's cancellation and the closure of the studio, with notes given to employees. Not only was Perfect Dark canceled, but also Rare's upcoming Everwild was canceled as well. And one of the leading developers at Rare has also left the company after 35 years, I believe it was. So the reason that was given for this in a statement from Booty reads, as part of this, we are closing one of our studios, The Initiative. These decisions, along with other changes across our teams, reflect a broader effort to adjust priorities and focus resources to set up our teams for greater success within a changing industry landscape. We did not make these choices lightly, as each project and team represent years, effort, imagination, and commitment. So there's not much context to be had right there. It's a very vague statement. And this seems to be, if you ask me, this seems to be a decision that was brought on by investors. Not investors of this game, but investors of Microsoft in general. Again, there's been mass layoffs across the entirety of Microsoft. So it's not just their gaming division that's being affected. It's other parts of the company that's also being affected, where employees are given notices and they are forced out, literally forced out of the company. So they're trimming down what they believe to be a lot of fat, I guess, to please investors. And we'll never have a true grounded reason for why this is unless someone high up in the company speaks out. But either way, this is a huge waste. It's a huge wasted opportunity. This is one of the games that I was looking forward to the most that was shown off last year during the Summer Games Fest of 2024. And I spoke out against the Summer Game Showcase of 2024 because it was terrible, similar to 2025. It was terrible across the board, with very few exceptions, and this game was one of the few exceptions. There was a lot of promise that I saw with the gameplay reveal here, and it's a fucking shame. But I also want to highlight something else about this decision as well. This just highlights once again the ongoing failure of the Xbox brand and Microsoft as a company, as a major publisher in the gaming industry. At this point, I don't care if you're a casual or if you're a hardcore player or somewhere in between, no one should support Xbox hardware at all. If you want to support games and studios from Xbox Game Studios, then that's one thing. But to actually go out and spend money on Xbox branded hardware, whether it's one of their consoles or it's one of their upcoming their upcoming handheld, which isn't really a true Xbox handheld. It's a collaboration with Asus. This thing is nothing more than a collaboration with Asus. that has put the Xbox brand on a device that you can already buy now. It's not even really a true, internally developed handheld by Microsoft itself. So, this is basically a slap in the face as well. There is literally no reason to support the Xbox brand anymore when it comes to their hardware. The Xbox One was the death of the Xbox brand, just in general. It was over for this brand as soon as that thing was announced, as soon as it was debuted and shown off to the world for the first time. That device was the end of Xbox. And they put the final nail in the coffin for this brand when Phil Spencer decided that it was a good idea to put all of their first party exclusives day and date on PC. So now you don't even need an Xbox console in order to play Xbox first party exclusives. And now you have first party exclusives that were traditionally first party only. Traditionally, you could only play these games on Xbox only. Now you have all of their first party exclusives coming to PlayStation as well. Games such as Hellblade 2, games such as the Indiana Jones game, games such as Gears of War. 20 years ago, 15 years ago, 10 years ago, it would have been unheard of to see a Gears of War game being released on PlayStation, on a PlayStation console. But yet, here we are. And what they've done is they've given fans of the brand no reason to have any faith in them at this point. The Xbox brand has turned into, as many have said online, it's turned into yet another Sega, a modern day Sega. Whereas instead of being a strong contender, a strong player within, the big three brands as a major publisher and competitor to PlayStation and Nintendo, Xbox has now become a third party machine. This is a brand that has completely lost its value, and we continue to see examples of this over and over and over again. So, yeah, I'm highly disappointed at this decision. I think this was a horrible decision to make. Like, when you, as a company, cancel new gaming studios that were just formed just years ago that hadn't even released not a single game, something's not right. You're not doing something right. And for those wondering, because this game was also going to appear, it was going to release just like every other Xbox Game Studios first party exclusive or first party game, because they're no longer exclusive. The Perfect Dark Reboot was also going to be released day and date on Steam on PC day one. If you had this game on your wish list, some of you may be wondering, well, what does the page look like? Well, I have an answer to that question. The page no longer exists on Steam for this game. I took a screenshot because I had the game on my wish list, and this is what it said. This is what it says. Unavailable item. This item is no longer available. And it has a blank thumbnail. It has no thumbnail. It is just gone. Obliterated. Cast into the abyss. Never to be seen again. You are a fucking fool if you continue to buy Xbox hardware from this point going forward. Actually, I would even argue from several years ago. You are a damn fool to continue to support Xbox as a hardware company. Xbox is no longer a serious competitor. I believe Phil Spencer said it himself. We are no longer competing with PlayStation. You want to know why they're no longer competing with PlayStation? It's because they can't compete with PlayStation. It's because of years of failures that they've released. Years of failing to release first party exclusives that are strong enough to go up against PlayStation IPs. If you continue to support Xbox as a hardware brand, this is going to be the result. This is Scalebound all over again. Scalebound, y'all remember that one, right? This is Scalebound all over again. Again, I will support Xbox Game Studios certain games that they release if I feel that the game is actually going to be good, like the upcoming Fable reboot. That's still in development. Future entries of the Gears of War franchise, as long as I feel that they have good concepts and the games still look like they're going to have potential, then I will support the games. But the hardware, Xbox, Microsoft, they just need to leave the hardware space and stop showing off games, stop revealing games and showcasing gameplay for games that you're ultimately just going to cancel. The only thing you're doing is giving a middle finger to your audience. That's it. That's the only result of this. So as the mass layoffs continue at Microsoft, we'll just have to see if there's any other company or game that they decide to shutter. The major players such as, Halo and Gears of War, those will be safe. But for anything else that hasn't already been confirmed for like a 2026 release, like the Fable reboot that's coming out next year, that doesn't already have a release date, I would remain very skeptical until more news is given. Because if it happened to this game, then it can happen to others.